Hello and welcome to the Hampshire Local Offer website tutorials. These are a series of tutorials which we will go through the different features of the website and show you how to get the most out of it, or how to find the information that you want quickly. We'll start with the site hierarchy, which has a traditional hierarchy. It has a section leading to multiple subsections. If we click on this one, there are 8 subsections. Each of these subsections lead through to articles and organisations. We'll just stay on this page for a minute and have a look at popular pages and new articles. Popular pages are the pages that are most accessed within this section of the website, and the new articles are the newest articles that have been put on to this section of the website, and these will fall off. They will go down the list as they are replaced by newer articles, whereas these will change depending on what people are looking at any given time. There are 6 sections across the site, each of which have subsections, except for leisure and play, but we'll tackle that one separately. When you hover over a subsection, it will highlight it in blue, so you know exactly what you're clicking. If you click on it, we will see 2 further tabs, one for organisations and one for articles, and obviously we click between the organisations and the articles. Now, the articles and the organisations have different filters on them associated with them, and that will depend on, and these filters will depend on what filters are being set within the articles or the organisations. So these are only ever pertinent to the information that's being displayed here at any given time. And if we say select an article on developmental delay, we know there's at least one there because it's showing. And if we could select another one, say on Down syndrome, this article also is connected to Down syndrome. So if we select none of them, then it will bring back all of them. If you want something on multiples, then you select the multiples and it will expand or contract accordingly. With the organisations, we click on the organisations, we'll see there's a lot of, there's probably more organisations than articles at the moment. That will probably change in due course, but as it currently sits, there are more organisations. Now, you can select multiple filters in different sections. So for instance, I want to choose something that's in East Hampshire, and I want to choose something. So if I want to select East Hants and 3 to 4 year olds, it will bring me back those associated with that. A couple of quick thoughts on the filtering. You have an or and selectable on some of the options in the filtering. So if I select Fareham and Gosport and East Hants, there's nothing there because I'm selecting I'm looking for organisations that are both in Fareham and Gosport and in East Hampshire. And for most organisations, they're only going to be based in one of these areas. If I select or, then it will probably bring back more because I'm selecting both of those areas. The other thing to bear in mind with the filtering is that the more filters that you select, the less options there will be until ultimately you may have nothing at all. That's because you are effectively limiting the amount of information that's being returned. Here we go, there's nothing there. We're limiting the amount of information that's returned because we are looking at all of these filters in combination. So we're saying, I want something for 3 and 4 year olds that's in Fareham and Gosport or East Hampshire, which has an early years setting, which specialises in the communication of Braille. So the more complex the filtering that you're asking the system to return to you, the less likely there is to be a large amount of information in it. And of course there are going to be options like this one where there are none at all. Now just quickly, when I look at leisure and play, Leisure and Play points to a completely different website, the Hampshire Gateway website, where all of the eventing is held for the local offer. So that's a completely different website, and please feel free to have a look at it with a whole section of its own filtering and layout. When you select an organisation, you'll automatically be brought through to its local offer with all the information that surrounds that local offer. And you will also be given some information at the top of the page here, such as key facts, where it says early years, SEN, and preschool playgroups. Those are the settings, the filters that are associated with this particular organisation. We can also see that this organisation has been tagged to education and childcare, early years, and SEN support. So you may find that some organisations and indeed articles appear in multiple sections. That's because they're applicable to both sections, or more than both sections. Also, another thing to bear in mind, other than the actual local offer that we see here, is that right at the bottom of those entries, you'll see that all of these filters are laid out, and you can select any of these and they will return information in their own right. So for instance, if we click accessible toilets here, it will return us everything in the system that has information on accessible toilets. And because this filter is applicable to organisations, we see only local office here, but if it was applicable to articles, then articles would also appear in the type. And then of course you have what will hopefully be becoming quite a familiar set of filters available to this. So for instance, if I want to see something on autism and on accessible toilets, it's probably shortened the list down a bit that we can look at. And of course from there you can go in and have a look at another organisation and click through accordingly. And equally, if I click any of these see also sections, we can see that that will take us immediately through to that subsection. Going back to articles, we can see that the filters down here on the left hand side are specific to articles. These are based on a concept called keywords, which we'll have more about later, that exist throughout the site. They will limit the information according to that particular keyword. So if I stick on communication, then obviously there's a couple of articles come up. And we select the article itself, and we can go down to the bottom, and that we will see that as we saw in the organisations, the list of filters is laid out. And we can see here that this particular article is tagged against quite a lot of different filters, and we can click on any of those filters, and as we saw in the organisations, that will bring about a whole filtered section based on behaviour, in this particular case, or that particular keyword. And again, you can filter through the keywords or filter further by selecting any of the other filters. So I can select behaviour and communication, and it will limit it down to articles that have information about behaviour and communication in them.